Hello there, I'm glad you could join me. Our match today from Belmore between Parramatta and Wests has enormous potential. Parramatta won handsomely last weekend, 36-0 against Newtown, but suffered a heavy 24-10 defeat at Manly's hands in their midweek KB Cup semi-final, which has led to several team changes. Out goes halfback Peter Sterling. His replacement is the previous fullback Paul Taylor, a player with enormous enthusiasm but short on positional sense. Now, to fill that vacant fullback role, Jack Gibson has come up with a bombshell. Australian second rower Johnny Muggleton has been given the call. Now, he's not without experience in the position. Muggleton, in effect, is a very fine young player who's got the additional plus of more height, so lacking by Taylor. Now, West's 15-3 defeat of South Sydney in our 7 big league match last weekend has slipped them into third place, just 2 points behind Manly, and they're after that second spot. Back into the side comes forward the former representative forward, Paul Merlo, after missing last weekend's match. But a sour note for the Magpies, their in-form lock Jim Leese has had to withdraw with leg muscle trouble, necessitating a forward shuffle. George Fard retains a spot in the second row, and Michael Duke slips back to lock forward. Now, usually we commentators say about a game, watch out for the clash of the forwards. Well, today I say to you, watch out for the clash of the backs. Between them, these two sides, that's half-back, 5'8", centre, wing and fullbacks, have scored a total of 121 tries this season. Now, for a look at the team's stats. Since Parramatta entered first grade in 1947, there have been 73 premiership matches between the clubs. Wests have won 44, Parramatta 27, drawn 2. This is their first game at Belmore. Wests have won 8 of their last 9 premiership games. Parramatta led out by their skipper Stephen Edge. This is the full side. John Muggleton in number 9 at fullback, Neil Hunt, Michael Cronin, Steve Ella, Eric Roth, Brett Kenny, Paul Taylor at halfback in 1, Ray Price, Stephen Sharp second row 14, Peter Wynn, Chris Phelan, Stephen Edge, Jeff Bugden, coach Jack Gibson. Now, Western Suburbs, led by their skipper Warren Boland. This is the full side. Wayne Smith, Steve Broughton, Steve Anderson, Ross Conlon, Warren Boland, Terry Lamb, Greg Cox, Michael Duke at lock, Paul Merlo, George Fard second row, Terry Leabeater, Arthur Mountier, Bruce Clark and coach Terry Fernley. The referee, Mr. John Gauchard. Great crowd here for the kick-off at Belmore, and Muggleton gets into the act early. Parramatta receiving the ball, and Western Suburbs in defence at the moment in their black uniform with the white pipings. Barry Ross on the sideline.
There's a slight wind down here, mostly across field, although favouring Western Suburbs slightly in this half. Parramatta won the toss and decided to run against the wind.
And the ground looking just a little bit burnt off now with the westerly winds and the dry sun we've had.
And a lot of other grounds like that at this stage of the year too, Rex.
No Price, that's a penalty. And rightly so, they've got to clear themselves away from the area. That was Fard. George Fard. And Mick Cronin. 121 tries these two sets of backs have scored this year. Pace to burn in both sides. Leading try scorer in the rugby league in Steve Ella. And the second leading try scorer in Steve Broughton.
Yes, and both Ella and Cronin very close to personal club records with the Parramatta club.
Taylor in number 1 playing at half. He skipped through the defence and made a break of about 8 yards there. Sharp playing in number 14 in the second row. Chris Phelan, 10 yards into Western Suburbs half. Midfield. Edge. Taylor. Muggleton. Kenny. Taylor. Wynn. Going to belt his way forward, but that defence is strong. I notice Arthur Mountier is wearing a nose guard to cover that deep cut that he had on his bridge of his nose. And low trajectory torpedo punt gone through, being chased rapidly by Hunt. Picked up by Boland, and he's picked off nicely there. Cronin was the man. Wayne Smith. And West's in defence, 8 yards from their line. Ground festooned over that side with streamers and coloured paper. Mostly, I must say, with Parramatta colours. Heavy Parramatta defence. Merlo was the man that took it up. Cox kicking downfield. Eric Growth can have trouble with that one. Oh yes, that was a great kick from Cox. A gain of about 50 metres from point of kick to point of sideline cross. Comes shooting out the western suburbs side. Broughton loads to Duke, playing at lock forward. Very talented young player. Smith, Lamb, Smith on the run around. Very close to being through there. Broughton, the winger, who's very much a travelled winger. He goes anywhere on the field, this fella. Bobbed up a dummy half then. Play midway between the halfway and Parramatta's end of the field. It's a messy bit of football by Western Suburbs, but not on both ways. Had 3.5 minutes of play, no score. That's a penalty to Western Suburbs against Parramatta for going down in the scrum. Terry Fernley looking down at the stats on his clipboard. Coaches these days can't just sit and watch all the time. Cox, Lamb, Merlot. Duke coming on the burst. Fard. Good bustling run up to the quarter line. Taylor. And that move picked off very smartly. Lamb being the recipient of boot, and Cronin and Phelan being spoken to, failing to release Lamb in the tackle. 3 yards in from the quarter, about 18 yards in from the... Cox to feed. For the Parramatta scrum win. Ella comes around the blind. Oh, again nearly through. Crowd a bit restless. There's Eric Growth right through. Oh, Wayne Smith's left behind, and it's offside back here. That's not going to please the Parramatta fans. See the incident again. Growth went straight through the gap, and the referees pulled it back. He's called that pass forward, offside, and he was walking that way. Well, the crowd don't like it. Very difficult to tell from our camera angle. But John Gosher had no doubt in the wide world about it. Now West's off the hook. Wayne Smith will breathe a sigh of relief after that. He was left pointless by Growth. Clark, Mountier. Lamb. Merlot, quick hands. Cox lobs a pass out to Conlon. Back inside to Broughton. Not to Broughton, to Smith, who's popped up there. There's Merlot. Up to halfway. No big pardons in defence in this one. Clark popped up a pass to Duke, and that's the 6. Scrums at this stage, 4-2 in favour of Parramatta. Edge has won the last 4 for Parramatta. Last 5. Ella. Cronin. Good incision. Pops a pass. It's kicked in flight by Cox. The race for the ball. Now who's got it? Anderson's come up with it, and that's a try saver. That ball was actually kicked in flight by Greg Cox as it was intended for a Parramatta player. He couldn't get his hands to it. Collins busted through a tackle. Nadia gets rid of Bugden out of the way. Merlo. Boland. Good acceleration. Merlo shaping to dummy. Took a heavy tackle there from Phelan. Better. About 8 yards from halfway. Mounty had dropped that and he gets a terrible pass. Anderson comes up with it. And that's the 6. There's a penalty against Cox for an incorrect feed. I thought he had him for incorrect feed. Loose arm was the late signal. Cronin's kick on the Western Suburbs quarter. 24.5 minutes gone. 2-0 the score, Western Suburbs. Edge. Kenny. He's got beautiful control of his body, this fellow, when he runs. He's swayed around like an edge wasn't watching a dummy half then. It's a terrible pass. Growth manages to pick it up on the bounce. Lack of concentration there from the skipper. Sharp. Trying the same corkscrew running style as Ray Price. Edge. Taylor. Price pops it back nicely there to Phelan. Phelan charging ahead. Got to pass away nicely to Taylor. He's in. That's a good one from Phelan. And the instigator of it, Ray Price. See it again. It was Edge, Taylor. Price pivots there, unloads back to Phelan, goes straight and hard, unloads nicely to Taylor as he's tackled, and in. Now watch Ray Price take the tackle and still unload. That is what rugby league is about. And Taylor in without a hand being laid on him. A great try. First kick by Cronin is successful. So the score then after 26 minutes of play, Parramatta 5, Western Suburbs 2. Enjoy that, Barry?
Very nice.
Just for the viewers' benefit, Barry just got accidentally hit on the head with a ball.
Thank goodness it was my head, Rex.
Yeah, you could have broken your ankle. Right, back to the action on the field. Win. Kenny. Phelan. Now to Kenny. Win. There's Eric Growth on the surge. Power personified when he gets into full flight. Edge. Well, that's not the kick he intended. It's gone straight up. Oh, Smith made a meal of that. 6 to go. Taylor came up with it. You might then say in justification that was the kick he intended. Cronin swerves and comes back the other way. Right through the gap. He's going to score. Wayne Smith won't get to him. It's a great solo try by Mick Cronin. He's cut them to ribbons. Parramatta 8, West 2. And it's great to see Mick Cronin do something extraordinary like that, because he's been in a bit of a lull, a little bit of a trough in his form, and that was marvellous. See it again. He went round, and there it started. This strong, hard-running man, straight through the gap, evaded a tackle there and showed surprising pace to score a try without a hand on him. From head on, just a straight out swivel, and Prop comes back. Too fast for them there. And really the defence was just opened right up. Cronin 3 yards in from the sideline and on the quarter line. That try gives him the Parramatta try scoring record by 1, breaking it with 59 from Mitchell Wallace. The kick was unsuccessful. The score remains Parramatta 8, Wests 2. Conlon. Evades the tackle, gets it to Kenny. Kenny's nearly into the clear. His beautiful footwork's got him away. Still going. Oh, and it's a great run. Corkscrew, left, right, off either foot. Edge. That would have bugged them. 10 yards from halfway. West's in a little bit of disarray at the moment. Stephen Edge from a dummy half, a little sprint. Sharp. Taylor. That's going to be too big. Way out. Well, Barry, the single significant thing that's come out of this opening 33 minutes is that the Parramatta forwards are much more vigorous than West set. And they're creating a bit of havoc with their charges through the ruck.
Yes, and as a consequence of that, the West backs are not being allowed to run as much as they were last week against South Sydney, and they're looking very ineffective. A lot of bad passing in their back line today.
That, of course, and the scrum count of 5-3, but that penalty count 7-4 in favour of West should just about even that up. Cox, Lamb, Merlot, Lamb again juggling the ball. Taylor all over him. Taylor and Lamb having a little, oh dear, they're doing some terrible things. Double knock on. West looking very second rate at the moment.
See Alf Richards bringing Ray Price off here. Looks like a very nasty cut on his forehead.
2 tries. Parramatta. A goal from 2 attempts. Scrum win to Parramatta. Ella. Solitary points to Western Suburbs. A penalty goal to Greg Cox. Cronin. There's Muggleton. Peter Wynn twisted awkwardly on that tackle. Gets a kick in, which is a good one. And with about a minute and a half to go, Parramatta hold on to this 8-2 lead. It's a scrum win. Wayne Smith chopped off by Ella. Cox, Broughton, pass knocked down, but a sloppy pass. Was always going to be knocked down. And really, this West performance in the first half has been very substandard. Tom Arbour, a player that West will be looking forward to running right back into his best form. It's another scrum into Western Suburbs. Duke.
Only about 45 seconds to go according to our time. Boland. Taylor's tackled right round the boots. And again. He's a workhorse. Cox, Lamb, Conlon. Not going anywhere.
And here's Ray Price back on the sideline again.
That's the quickest stitching job in history. Lamb. Boland overran him. Taylor was the tackler. And Taylor's the tackler again. That's about 7 tackles he's pulled off in the last, I'd say, minute and a half.
Yes, it's not a bad defensive unit around that scrum base today for Parramatta, Price and Taylor.
Well, one would have thought the West tactics would have been to move it away quickly, but that's the ball game for a rather disappointing first half, with Parramatta asserting their dominance by 8-2. The try scorers Cronin and Taylor, and Cronin 1 goal from 2 attempts. For Western Suburbs, Greg Cox a penalty goal. Back with more action in just a moment. Away they go for the second half. The error has been forced by Parramatta with a kick-off, and Parramatta get the ball back. And that's a bit of a bad blow for Western Suburbs so early in the second half. The score, 8-2 Parramatta's way. Barry Ross has been in the dressing rooms.
And that incident from the kick-off is just what Terry Fernley spent most of the time talking about, that West were getting themselves into trouble. They're dropping the ball, they're not standing deep enough in the backs, and that's it. He said if they could retain the ball, they could put pressure on Parramatta a bit more than they have, and he did point out that the score was only 8-2, so they're very much still in the game. Jack Gibson, meanwhile, in the Parramatta dressing room, he spent most of the time talking about defence. He wanted his side to keep their line intact and control the ball, and the tries would come. Ray Price, by the way, had 4 stitches in that head cut.
Right. Thank you, Barry. Parramatta into West Quarter now. Taylor goes for the drop. It's a good one. So that was nicely taken, neatly taken, and very, very casually taken. See it again. Under no pressure, wasn't expected, and as a consequence, that's another point to Parramatta, 9-2. The kick-off. Looking into the sun, Muggleton takes it well, unloads to Growth. This involved switching of play that Parramatta go on with, sometimes in their in-goal, in their quarter. Players running across each other. Price, Cronin, Growth. He's built up considerably since he started to play football for Parramatta. Duggan lobs a pass back on the inside. Play on, says the referee. Edge has it now, up towards the halfway line. And the West defence being put to the test. Sharp. Taylor, Kenny, the dummy. Beautiful weaving run up over halfway and taken from behind by Broughton, as he needed to be. Wynn finds a hole down the sidelines, kicked ahead, and it's over the dead ball line. The idea was okay. Mountier, Merlot, and away to Clark. I thought he'd left the field. Mountier, oh, terrible pass there. Leabeater picks it up. This is not the Western Suburbs side that played last week against South Sydney. Hello. Price hits him. Cox. Little grubber type kick through and forces the error off Muggleton. Terribly difficult for a fullback. It'll be a Western Suburbs feed. Scrums at this point in time, 7-all after at one stage Edge won 4 in a row. It's a penalty to Parramatta. It's against Cox, as he did that last week, assisting the ball back. See the scrum again. Now watch Cox's feet. See? Little trapping it with a foot. Got to watch these halfbacks, Barry Ross.
No, they never do too much wrong, Rex.
He's looks like a convoy of Parramatta players coming line astern through there. All one behind the other. Edge. Sharp loses the ball. Wests have come up with it through Merlo. Mount here. Michael Duke. Put down by Price. Cox. Oh, it's an awful pass, and Fard had trouble with it. Another scrum went to Wests. Duke. Smith. 8 yards from halfway. Lamb, the run around. Long floating pass out to Anderson. Now that's a penalty against Kenny. The looping kick indicated by referee Gosha. Now watch Kenny come and kick from outside. Referee judged that to be illegal. Lee beater. Mount here. Good pass there to Merlo. Clark cracks one tackle. Lee beater. Cronin sprints back to position on the other side of the field. Duke picked off. Mount here. Cox. Lamb. Conlon. Oh dear. Smith didn't look as though he wanted the ball. Cox got it back to Lee beater. Fard. And a good tackle out there from Taylor. And another one from Taylor that's knocked Merlo over. It's a David and Goliath contest, that one. Scrum into Parramatta. Ella back into Price. Price is into an opening. Streams upfield, unloads a nice pass to Muggleton. Muggleton turns it to Growth. Growth juggles it, strides away. It's a good tackle there by Conlon. Now Parramatta, and the ball dropped behind, and the referee saying Western Suburbs all offside. And the kick and goal will be taken by Mick Cronin. 100 goals from 146 attempts. Magnificent success rate of 68.5. There's another 2. And Parramatta surge away to an 11 points to 2 lead. Growth. Tackle on the quarter line. Hunt runs crossfield. West defence starting to get that rattled look about it. Sharp. Lee beater's tackle stops him unloading. Taylor. Win. Nicely to Muggleton. Cronin on the burst. Oh, he'll go away. Broughton will take him from behind with a good tackle. And Eric Growth's broken down. Something's happened to his ankle. Win. Oh, so simple. Muggleton. So easy. West's in absolute disarray. Parramatta 14, Western Suburbs 2. See it again. There was the Muggleton try in the corner after the wind break. There he goes. Just cut the defence to shreds. Cronin on the quarter line at about 7 yards in from the sideline. Just fell underneath. Didn't strike that properly, so it remains as it was. Parramatta 14, West 2.
Ross Simons and
Another scrum into Parramatta. Ella, a switch across to Muggleton. Good step on the inside. Still going. And Parramatta have got the impetus now. They're making ground in every sequence of play the ball. Getting beyond the advantage line with monotonous regularity. And West don't seem to be able to do a thing about it. Price. Kenny. Oh, yes. Beautiful back inside to Taylor. And they've torn the heart out of this Western Suburbs side. Kenny's pace and the skill of the pass there were just rugby league at its best. 17-2, see it again. Kenny, the step off the right foot, the acceleration, and little Taylor in for number 2 from head on. Watch Kenny's footwork. Beautiful play. 17 points to 2 with a kick from directly in front to follow. Bit of a team talk in the Western Suburbs in goal as Cronin kicks. And there it is, an embarrassing situation now as Parramatta surge away, 19 points to 2. Conlon drives it deep. Hunt dummies to Cronin. He's gone right around the Western Suburbs side. Beautiful run. And needed a good tackle then from Smith to stop him. And they're just making ground with so much ease. Win. Edge, Taylor. Sharp. Driven backwards. A loss of about 10 yards in that play. Price, Taylor, Bugden, Cronin, intercepted very nearly. That was offside, I thought, by Parramatta. No, the referee says it was a knock on first. Replacement, Barry Ross.
It's just the former Randwick Rugby Union player, Greg Magalone, going on for West.
And Martine on now. And Ray Price bleeding still quite heavily from that cut on the head. Comes off. Scrum 10 yards into Parramatta's half. Taylor. Still managed to get his pass away. To Ella, who's had a devastating game in attack. Now that's a penalty against Parramatta for holding the player away from the ball. It was there to be struck at, which they did. Then handled the ball in the ruck area, which is the area between the marker and the man playing the ball. Got 11 minutes to go. 19 points to 2. Parramatta. Well, top tackle there from Taylor, who's got through a mountain of defence. Barry, I'd like to know his tackle count.
Oh, yes, well, we all know how well he can tackle, and it certainly paid off around the ruck there today for Parramatta.
Harbour at number 16. Mountier. Cox. Long floating pass. Conlon nicely away to Wayne Smith. Sights an opening. Goes upfield. He doesn't look completely well to me, Wayne Smith. Fard. Merlo. Dummy. Last tackle. Will they resort to the bomb? They do. Lamb. It's a good high one. Muggleton made a meal of that. It'll be a try. Who's come up with that? McAlone. I think it's McAlone, the try scorer, but see the bomb again, and Muggleton didn't make a very good fist of getting to this. Very ordinary attempt to catch the ball. And McAlone managed to drop onto it from head on. Well, he goes out of our camera's range at that point, but take our word. A sea of faces, 16,000 plus people here. 400, I think, 16,440. Struck that very nicely. It's a great goal from the sideline, so the score a little more respectable. Parramatta 19, Wests 7. We're doing our usual awards in this match. The player we judge to be the best footballer of our weekly telecast. We call the King G Footballer of the Week. He'll receive $400 appearing on Sports World the following week. All those weekly award winners will be judged by the Controversy Corner panel at the end of the year. Boland half volleys that beautifully. The overall winner will be named the Mazda Footballer of the Year. A magnificent Mazda RX-7 is his prize, valued at $17,524. The player responsible for the King G Try of the Match receives $150, and at year's end, the player responsible for the Mazda Try of the Year, another great motorcar prize, a mighty Mazda 626, valued at $9,564. McAlone again. Harbour loses it backwards. Picked up by Cox. Wests have even given the appearance of getting in each other's way today at different times. Merlo holding the ball in one hand. McAlone. Cox. Lamb will kick through, might regather, does. Unloaded beautifully to Ella. Ella's upfield. Oh, the footwork, the acceleration, gives it unselfishly there. Away to number 14 for Parramatta, Steve Sharp. Is it? Who was that? Atkins, Graham Atkins. Yes. I didn't even see him come on. Graham Atkins. What a classic bit of football by Ella. There's the little chip through that should have brought better. It did. And a beautiful pass back to Ella. He's his own side of halfway there. One tackle. Two tackles. Three tackles. And finally brought down only after he'd unloaded to Atkins. There's the head-on shot of it. Ella, beautiful change of direction, and the great ability this boy has to not lose pace when he steps. Opponent's kick successful, and that embarrassing scoreline reads Parramatta 24, Wests 7. Edge waving to his players and telling them to come up as the kick-off comes. Well, Muggleton from fullback came in. Standing up among the forwards there.
Parramatta will make another change soon. Stephen Edge is coming off, and the reserve grade hooker David Hall wearing number 22 going on now.
Stephen Edge leaving the field. It's a round of applause from Parramatta fans.
And Jack Gibson now having made 4 changes as he did against South Sydney a few weeks ago, but I don't think too much will be said today.
Well, a different set of circumstances. Oh, that pass was forward. The referee was unsighted, one thinks. Fard, we're into the last 5 minutes. We're down to 4 minutes now. Mountier swings it round to Arbor up the blind side, charging straight ahead and going strongly, still running. Gets it up to the quarter line. Lamb takes that nicely. I think he's come off second best in the contest with Kenny today. Sharp took that very well over his head. Oh, playing dangerous football at the moment. They're running it from their own goal line, but the 24 points to 7 lead, nothing really matters. Is there a situation? Parramatta 12, West's 11. Number of times each side's given it back. Sharp. Is it a powerful game today?
3 minutes.
Yes, about 3 minutes to go. It's Coburn playing a number 17.
So this will be the first time that a Jack Gibson coach side has beaten a Terry Fernley coach side in first grade.
Scrum to go down on the Parramatta. Parramatta still in the dying stage of this game, throwing the ball around with Gay abandoned. Kick through. Well, that's going, he's not going to find touch, it'll go into the quarter. Right to Broughton, who's been really quiet today, received few opportunities out in the flank. For Wests. Ooh, pass knocked down, but play on and 6 to go. Cox has it. Merlot, that action of holding the ball in one hand and waving it around. About a minute to go. Lamb, nice little break, good step. That's a fine run. Oh, Anderson threw a pass that went forward, surely. Last tackle, the referee says not. And inside the last minute, unofficial time. And 6 to go. West in possession about 24 yards out. Mount here. Merlot. Cox. Long pass out to Anderson. He's heavily tackled. About 30 seconds to go. Time ticking away for Western Suburbs. 24 points to 7. The scrums have gone 14 to 10 in favour of Parramatta. The penalties have gone to West 10 to 8. The try scorers for Parramatta have been John Muggleton, Michael Cronin, Graham Atkins, Paul Taylor 2, and Cronin has kicked 4 goals. Taylor also came up with a field goal for Western Suburbs. Their only points came from Greg McAlone, a try, and 2 goals to Greg Cox. So a 24 to 7 result in favour of Parramatta.
Our award winner today was the little halfback in the Parramatta side, Paul Taylor. 2 tries and 45 incredible tackles. A masterful performance from the little fellow. Going to make it very, very difficult for the other halfback to get back into the side. Anyway, let's look at the results of a topsy-turvy round of football. Parramatta 24, Western Suburbs 7. In our match, Illawarra 12, Newtown 15. Balmain 20, Manly 19. That's their 4th consecutive premiership loss. Cronulla 34, Canberra 5, East 13, Canterbury 10, St George 10, Penrith 23, and yesterday that massive win, North 25, South Sydney 7. Now the competition table, really we only need to go down to 27 points, which we'll do, and this is the way it looks. Parramatta 38, Manly 32, North 31, West 30,